What about if the fight does go off, but it doesn't happen in Lincoln? Like, can you just kind of try to put that into words, like how that would impact you, why Lincoln was so significant to you, and what it would have, what you thought it would have, or what you think it's going to feel like if it does happen and you're able to fight in that arena?
You know, I keep thinking about that, and it's a two. It's there's two sides of that sword. If I fight and it's not in Lincoln, at least I'm able to fight. At least I'm able to. The work that I put in. I started my training camp 4 weeks earlier than I typically do because I was out so long. So I've already been in camp 5 weeks already. Almost, yeah. This is my sixth week in camp already, and I still got, was it 4 or 5 weeks left to the fight. So um, I'll just be relieved that I'm able to, that it all wasn't for nothing. That I didn't struggle my way into training camp. I mean, yeah, I mean, man, this training camp was the toughest thing. I'm like, starting this training camp was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've never been out this long before. I've never been out of training this long before. I've never had to battle through an injury like I battled through this one. So I don't want it to all be for nothing. And if if it doesn't happen, it will be. And then again, money wise, all the money that I put into it, I don't want to have to restart and do it all again. Uh, and so I'll be happy that I can fight if it's not in Lincoln. But I'll be extremely disappointed because this might be my last chance. This might be my last chance to fight in my home state. If things go the way that I see them going, for me, I think that I'll have a dominant a dominant performance over Glover. I think I'll get him out of there quickly. And then we're looking at big fights, and we're looking at pay-per-views, and we're looking at potential title shots soon. Uh,
Yeah.
those kind of things don't happen in Nebraska. So, if I go,
Mhm.
and I just keep thinking, like, I'm thinking in the future, like, I know I can beat John Jones. So when I beat John Jones, what are the chances we're ever going to come back to Nebraska? Like, unlikely. Those fights are going to be in Vegas, and they're going to be in big places. And as bad as it is to say, like, that's just, Nebraska is not the hotbed for MMA. So that's, knowing that sucks. Knowing that sucks, that if it doesn't happen now, it may never happen. Um,
Mhm.
and that's really tough. And I think that's, it's part of the reason that it's so stressful when people do ask me about it, because I don't have the answer. But even if I did have the answer, I'm not sure I'd be able to tell them.
At some point the sport's going to be moving, normally, hopefully your fight goes off. And, John's talking about heavyweight. People are talking about having him with a rematch with Reyes. He stood up on his seat and was yelling at Jan Blachowicz the last time Jan fight. Like, how do you see this going? What do you think is going to happen in this division? And ultimately, how do you get to John, before he gets beat or before he makes his way to heavyweight? Like, how do you see it playing out?
It's, I'm going to get to John either way. It doesn't matter what weight class he's in. Uh, and that's just a personal thing at this point. John is my Jeremy Shepard right now, and that's just how it is. And when I fought him the first time, it became about a whole lot more than the title, and I think I lost track of what I was really doing here. But it's kind of taken on its own. This is like a three-headed beast at this point in time. It's winning the title, proving to myself that I can beat John Jones. Even if Reyes would have beaten John Jones, I still want to fight John Jones. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just become that personal to me. If he goes to heavyweight and vacates, then there's no one that's going to stop me from taking it if he vacates it. That's for sure.
Mhm.
There's no chance for anyone there. And then if he goes to heavyweight, then I'll follow him. That's
Yeah.
just how it is. Like, but I haven't been out here in the media and ringing that bell, because I know that I need to get another win first before it's legitimate, and I'm okay with that. As far as the division, I think it's really exciting. We're kind of in a weird spot. I think that Jan Blachowicz absolutely has earned a title shot, uh, and I don't want to call him an old man or anything, but at his age, if he's going to get it, it needs to be soon.
Mhm.
He's not getting any younger for sure. And I also believe that Dominic Reyes deserves a rematch. So, I'm kind of in third place here. Like, even if I, even if I go and I blow Glover out, Jan and Dominic Reyes kind of have a better stake to it right now.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm not really sure what either one of those guys are doing. I don't see either one of them really, other than Reyes kind of doing some dorky stuff on the internet. I don't really see any of them knocking that door down right now. So I don't know. Like I feel like when I was trying to get my title shot, like I was ringing every bell and telling every person on the street and talking to every media person I could to like tell them like I want this fight. Like I think I earned this fight. And I don't really see either one of those guys doing that. And maybe that's because one of them has some, maybe they one or both have some information behind the scenes that they're not ready to let out yet. And maybe that fight's already booked and we just don't know about it. But I don't know, so I think I have to do something spectacular against Glover to continue to put myself in that conversation. But there's two guys right there that have pretty good claims to it, and I'm okay with earning it. And that's kind of how I went about it the last time. Like I wasn't out here begging for something I didn't think I deserved. I beat the number 2 guy, and that makes me the number 1 guy. And that's how I looked at it. And I don't have to do that again. Thiago Santos is kind of waiting around hanging out in those shadows over there too. And I don't think we can rightfully write him off either.
Yeah.
I think it's been long enough now. He's going to absolutely have to fight again. So I would guess, if I was a betting man, I would say I beat Glover, and I'm going to either have to fight. I'm going to have to fight one of those 3 guys. It's going to be Thiago, and whichever one of those guys don't get a title shot between Blachowicz and Dominic Reyes, and I'm fine with that. And that's kind of the path that I'm looking at taking myself.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.